Hey everyone, welcome back to Affiliate. Thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is Chapter 4, the editor and the workspace. But first, I did want to address that yes, I am standing in a different setup a little bit. I am still in my office, but my office is undergoing a remodel. So it's going to have a different look in here in a couple weeks. And in the meantime, I'm going to do the video standing up because I don't have my usual desk space. So getting right into it today. For this one is Chapter 4, the editor and the workspace. And what I want to talk about this time is how getting your setup right the first time, one time, and getting your environment right once will stop you from having to rebuild it every single prompt. Of course, we're talking about the relationship between your environment, your repos, and the AI agent. So a couple of tips, because in my case, I'm working with Cursor, so I'm talking about that specifically, but it does work this way in most other IDEs. So first thing and tips I want to give here is one, put all your related repos into one workspace. And so even if you don't specifically use those repos yourself, but they are related to your work or your repos, then they should also be in your workspace. This allows the agent to read across the boundaries because those things are related. It can understand and infer the work in the other repos and how it relates to yours. This includes just read-only repos and everything for context. Like I said, you might not commit to these repos, but it could be good to still have them included because you get the context from them. And it allows the agents to reason across the boundaries using real data and information, real constructs, instead of just descriptions that are possibly flawed coming from your teammates. This removes tiny repeated costs. And like I wrote about already in a different post, little by little, a little equals a lot. And so removing these tiny repeated costs will save you huge amounts of time if you add up over time how many times you would have repeated a prompt or something like that. Getting into the AI and the agent portion of this, first rule and first skill. So I recommend that you start by setting up one rule, one skill, one command. Start simple, start with one thing, because instead of setting up 6 different things, and then after something goes wrong, if you had just done it one by one, you can save yourself a huge amount of troubleshooting that just never would have happened if you had not set up a huge amount at once. So one, start with the minimum, something that's testable and repeatable, and just do that one time. And then from there, you can repeat that. If it's repeatable, you can repeat those workflow steps. But the point here is to start with something that you do very frequently so that you can stop re-explaining yourself to the agent every time. The more context that you can give the agent, the more appropriate context that you can give the agent, the better off you are, because you don't have to continue to restate yourself. Then, once you have something set up, you need to verify this, right? Like I said, this needs to be something that's testable. So, yes, it's boring, but if it's not verified, if you haven't set this, if you haven't tested it after you've set it up, then you're just guessing that it's going to work. So, you have to make sure that you verify your setup. Yes, it's boring, but do all the testing and do the testing in a way that's like a prompt you will break a prompt that the agents should stop and ask a question about. Do these simple tests that you the outcome should be and verify that you get that outcome. If you don't, adjust, iterate, try again until you do. So as always with these, I do want to keep them short so that they're not too hard to digest. Remembering the editor and the workspace, chapter 4, that it is better to have consistent and mature context than clever prompts all the time, because the agent can read and infer the context from your repo. So having that structure is much more important than being able to give a good prompt. And remember, start simple, one skill, one rule, something that's testable and easy to verify. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you on the next chapter breakdown for chapter 5, which will be choosing and rotating models. Thanks, everyone.